Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I'm here to announce Historathon 3.0. All right, so this is our third official round of Historathon. We did do a half round last year that was a lot of fun, but this is our first round fully in November. So welcome, I'm glad you found us. This is a readathon that will take place for the entire duration of November, and we'll focus on reading historical fiction. I know that nonfiction November also takes place during the entire month of November, and we thought that historical fiction and nonfiction really complemented each other really well, and so we will hope that you will participate in both if you so desire. This year I am joined by Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library and Gloria from Gloria Z. Thompson as my co-hosts for this readathon. We came up with something really fun for this year, and we are excited to get into it. But bottom line, we just want to encourage you to read some historical fiction throughout the month of November. So let's get into the details for this year. This year, we do have a group book again, as we have in the past. This year, our group book is going to be The Lost Girls of Willowbrook by Ellen Marie Wiseman. This is her newest release. It came out this year, but it's pretty easy to get your hands on. It's only about $10 if you are to buy it new. From Amazon or from, wherever you would like to purchase it. It's not super expensive because it's a paperback release, but we thought that this would be a good option because it's fairly new. If you've read it already this year, you will have it fresh in your mind so that you can still participate in the conversation with us. And yeah, we are very excited to read this. This is a book about the Willowbrook Institute in Staten Island, New York, which was a children's home that after the fact, it kind of came out that the children were not treated well at this children's home. And that's really all I know about it. I think it has to do with siblings who, like, one of them went to the institute and her sister died. Or one of them went to the institute and died there, and then the sister is now looking into her death, maybe. But this will be our group book, and we will have a discussion, a live discussion here on YouTube. It will be on my channel on November 30th at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and so we will hope that you will join us for that to discuss this book. We are very excited. All right, now let's get into the other prompts. Like I said, we did something a little bit different this time around. We're very excited about it. And this time we're going to be doing a stitch in time. So we have a journey of 9 different prompts that will each build off of the previous book that you read. There are 3 different stages in this journey. Each stage has 3 prompts of its own. So that equals 9. And so, yeah. The first stage is the Baroness/Baron stage, and the first prompt for that stage is a book with Lost in the title. We did this for a reason. If you do not want to read the group book, however, there are so many other books that you can read that have Lost in the title. It's a fairly trendy word within the historical fiction genre, and so we thought that would be a good way to tie in the group book, but also give you the option to select something different if you want. You can also select something different and still read this. So yeah, the first prompt is to read a book with Lost in the title. Now here's where the fun comes in, because the next book will reference your previous book. So the next book has to be set in a different country than your previous book. So The Lost Girls of Willowbrook is set in Staten Island, New York. So, for example, you could select a book that was set in Europe, specifically France, or Germany, or Asia, or Africa, or anywhere else in the world besides the US. So, you could select that as your next prompt. The next prompt after that is a book that has a similar cover. So, if you selected Codename Verity, you could then select for your next prompt When We Were Young and Brave by Hazel Gaynor, because these have fairly similar covers. You see where we're going with this? If you get through those 3 prompts, you will have successfully completed the Baroness/Baron stage of your journey. The next stage is the Duchess/Duke stage of your journey. And the first prompt for that is that your book has to be set in a different decade than your previous book. So if you selected When We Were Young and Brave, which is set in the 1940s, you could then select I Must Betray You by Readathon, which is set in the 1980s, 1989. That would work well. The next prompt after that is that your book, the author of your next book, the last name must have the same first letter as your previous book. So if you select Readathon, you then could select Mark Sullivan and read Beneath a Scarlet Sky by Mark Sullivan. This book is wonderful. I would highly suggest it. And so you could select that for your next prompt. Then, if you select this, for your next prompt, it would be a book that has fewer pages. So this is pretty chunky. If I wanted to select a book with fewer pages, I could then select Snowflower and the Secret Fan by Lisa C. This has much fewer pages than Beneath a Scarlet Sky. Ooh, got caught in my hair. If you get through those 3 prompts, you have successfully completed your Duchess/Duke stage of your journey, and then you can move on to the Queen/King stage of your journey. The first prompt in your Queen/King stage of the journey is to read a book whose protagonist is of a different race than your previous book. So if you had selected Snowflower and the Secret Fan, which has an Asian main character, you could then select The Tubman Command, which has an African American. You could then select The Tubman Command, which has an African-American main character. Your next prompt is probably the most difficult prompt that we have, in all honesty. I struggled a little bit with this one. But your next prompt is to select a book that is either blurbed or reviewed by the author of your previous book. So the author of this, Elizabeth Cobb's, blurbed A More Perfect Union by Tammy Huff. Up here at the top, it says Impossible to Put Down, A Startling and Hopeful Tale by Elizabeth Cobbs of The Tubman Command. So you could select A More Perfect Union. That one's a little bit hard, but your next one, not so much. So your final prompt to get you to the end of your journey is to read a book with the same number of words in the title. So if you have A More Perfect Union, which has 4 words in the title, you could then select one of my favorites, A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles, and that would get you to the end of your journey, and it's going to be so much fun. So there are 9 prompts total, similar to every other iteration of Historathon that we've had, but in a different layout, and we think that this is going to be so much fun. Like we said, you do not have to complete all of the stages. If you just want to do the first one, or just do 2, or do all of them, or do none of them, or only read the group book, or choose not to read the group book, you make this work for you. You do not have to check in with us to see if it counts. If you think it counts, it counts. And so as far as the prompts go and fulfilling the prompts, you do you. We are so excited for this. We're so excited for that live show on November 30th. Once again, thank you to Lindsay and Gloria for helping me out this time around. And I am so excited. So excited for November. I will be coming out with my own TBR here shortly, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If you need recommendations or are stuck, or, you know, whatever, as you're planning this next month or in the middle of the month, you can just kind of go, roll as you go, kind of sort of thing, where you don't pick one in TBR in advance. You just kind of go with the flow. If you get stuck and you need recommendations, make sure you reach out to one of the 3 of us. We would love to help you out. And that's going to do it for today. So I hope that you'll be joining us. I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.